let's go ahead and import these two lines. So exchange equals ccxt.femex. You know, it forgot to put in the keys, so I need to add the keys here. And let's go ahead and do that just really quickly. So to add my keys, pretty easy to do. I'm gonna go ahead and just copy paste from my other one. You can see what it did is it initialized ccxt.femex perfectly, but then it just didn't add this part because it probably doesn't have, well, it obviously doesn't have my API keys. And I just set it up through a don't share config, so I don't share it on YouTube, but essentially you could put your keys in like that without this part, and your secret in like that as well, and you should be connected to the exchange. So that's pretty good. It was able to look up the documentation for getting the keys. I could probably say, what is the function, or how can you show me how to connect to CCXT with, can you edit the code? Can you edit the code above in order to use my key and secret to connect to the exchange, to Femex? Let's see if it goes ahead and gives me an example. Certainly, to use your API key and secret, you build a constructor, and this is how you do it. So import CCXT API. Okay, this is how they're doing it. And this is exactly what I did as well. As you can see here, just made that edit. And this is what's cool about it. You can keep talking to it, and it just made an edit, and now it's gonna redo the whole code. So as you can see, my highlighted part is here, and this is exactly what they did. Now you can't see this part because I had to hide it into another file called don't share config. But the thing that I want to do next is, like, can you write out this part of code? You add this part of code that you missed above. And then what did it say? It said hold for at least 5 days. Let's see how smart this is. Hold for at least. Certainly, here's an example of how you can modify the code to hold the BTC for 5 days. Okay, look at this. And now they import time. So I'm going to import that one as well. And this is pretty amazing because it's like talking to an engineer, right? So first time through, they're like, hey, you could do it this way, but I actually didn't write the code. Second time through, I asked them to figure out the key situation, and look at this. Look at my API key. Like, I've done this in the past by hand. It goes and looks through the docs and figures out how to do that. So this is quite impressive. And then look at this right here. It went ahead and now updated the function to say hold for 5 days. So off the top, like my first description here, it didn't do it perfectly, but then after I talked to it a little bit and added some feedback, it went ahead and built a pretty solid algorithm. Now, is this an algo that's gonna be profitable? Probably not, but it's a really great example of how ChatGPT and OpenAI, you know, this is pretty amazing. As a developer, like, now I can throw an idea into the OpenAI and it can kind of like guide me along the way. Is it perfect? Well, we're still yet to see if this works, but let's just keep on moving here. And I think it's saving a lot of time. So let's paste that in. So as you can see, we have all of this set up already. Import pandas as PD. I've already imported time. Scroll down here because this is more of an updated one. Let's make sure this is the same. Let's go ahead and print the SMA. Print just to kind of test it. Now this is like the first official test. We're seeing if the SMA is correct, and let's also print. Let's do an F string here and say this is the symbol current price, and then put in the price here and SMA 20, and we'll put in the SMA 20. I feel like this is a pretty solid test because, you know, especially if you're new to algo trading, this would take a little bit of time to figure out. You probably have to Google it, and I think that's one of the best use cases thus far with OpenAI and ChatGPT 3 is it just helps you with Googling, and it writes out the code for you. So you could Google and go to Stack Overflow and figure out all this stuff, but now you don't have to do that. You just get an idea back. Like, instead of having to like piece together 12 different tabs on Google, right, and try to figure out which is which and what works best for this scenario, now OpenAI allows you to just type in what you need, and then it gives you an answer. So that's going to be a game changer in my opinion. So let's go ahead and see if this works. This is the first test we're giving it, using pretty much all the code, you know, with a couple of tweaks, just bringing in my API keys and whatnot, using all the code that has been suggested by OpenAI. And the first test is, can it show us the symbol, can it show us the current price, and can it show us the SMA 20? You know what? Let's go ahead and run it.